So we're going to walk through the design process today. And it is a new year, 2025, first week of the new year. And what we got here is a new board model that we just tested in the test tank. And it's called the MagnaSqueak. So those of you who've been getting boards from me for a long time, watching what we're doing, this may look really familiar to the Pipsqueak. Now the Pipsqueak, that board was made famous by Nick Rosa and Chris Papaleo in the Homegrown series. And that outline, this is the identical outline off the Pipsqueak. It's just that what I've done is added the rocker and bottom of the latest hit from last summer, which was the Magnum Opus, which was kind of a fishy to shortboard crossover board, real glidey like a fish, but would turn and hold a rail all the way through, unlike a fish and more like a high-performance shortboard, but even in some semblances better than a high-performance shortboard because you could really set on that rail, and the way the hull contours of the bottom were, you could really hold that rail all the way through a figure-8 arc, come smash it back off the oncoming whitewater and rebound back onto the wave face. And also fin releases and stuff. It really was a surprise board because I just wanted something fishy but still high performance that was unlike anything I'd done before, kind of a fill in the gap type of board. And here's one right here, the Magnum Opus. We have a breakdown on this that you've probably seen or you can refer to and see on that board. And the Magnum Opus, you can see the rocker and bottom of that flat deck. It's got a little beak nose in it, low entry. It's got a little more tail rocker than typical fish. And then it's got this bit more aggressive outline. And the Magnum Opus came directly from its papa, which was, the Magnum Opus came from its papa, which was the Trascal. And the Trascal was a cross between the Postmodjet and a typical standard retro fish, just with tail block pulled in, not as deep of a swallowtail, and that more aggressive rocker through the back third of the board. And what we found is those two boards were such hits, and this led to this. And then I thought, you know what? Let's take and move the wide point back a little more, narrow that nose up a bit, just drop a regular swallowtail, keep the single wing, drop a regular swallowtail, keep the same rocker from the Magnum Opus, since this was so dynamic. And then here is the original, the very first Pipsqueak I ever made. That was from the Homegrown series. And so here she is. I'm so glad I got this board back from Nick way back when, because I've kept this all these years. I keep it here with me in my showroom, in my shaping room, because it's such a special board and such a landmark like design breakthrough at that time. And it's still it's still very current and relevant. I still do the Pipsqueak. A lot of people love this board, and you can still do gnarly, as new and futuristic kind of surfing as you want off this board. And so you see that outline. So I kept this same outline. You can see even here it's got the old FCS plug, so it's showing its age. But this puppy, I took that same outline and grabbed the rocker off of the Magnum Opus, and we turned it into the MagnaSqueak. So the Pipsqueak outline with the Magnum Opus rocker and bottom on it, and it's got a little bit more, and just a little more flip in the nose associated with a narrower outline through the front half. Wide point is further back. Same tail block as the original Pipsqueak, but it has that single, flat, single to triplane double to spiral V. Actually has V through here. And that hull contour, it's a very traditional kind of hull contour, but added with a little more rocker through the back third of the board, which is what is going on with these. I think one of the major ingredients why those were such a breakthrough. And so we kept all that and just put it on, took out the beak nose, left a little flip in there, just to make it a little more aggressive all around. So a little more shortboarding movement from the Trascal to the Magnum Opus, with borrowing the outline from the Pipsqueak and then popping it all in, you know, a synthesis from 4 different boards into this new MagnaSqueak. And what we're seeing out of this board is some crazy, phenomenal stuff. And I'm really excited about it. One thing that's really important with this board is, since it has that unique single to double spiral V contour with a little added bend between the feet, when you have a spiral V or V bottom in a board, it frees it up incredibly. So you never get that like, ooh, I hit a dead spot, I feel like my back foot's dragging an anchor, that's associated with real heavy concaves back here. That's a little bit more of a design for, you know, real stood up waves that grind and bend and go all the way through, like Indo or, you know, slabby stuff, just real high performance stood up waves. But waves that may stand up, go dead, go out to sea, stand up again, this whole contour works great because it keeps a constant steady speed even when you hit that dead spot, zip, zip, zip. But then when you get into the pocket, to give it the hold and the drive, what's essential with this board is larger side fins with a smaller trailer. And what I've been running is the like MR style sides with a small trailer, but just a click up from a normal standard trailer that you would ride with like a 2+1 fin setup for a twin. And that's a magic combo that gives you that loose free feel, but still really drives a whole nother level of horsepower than you would get out of a thruster or even a quad that has a normal hull contour on it. So there we go. The MagnaSqueak.